Okay, this is Tuesday, September 15th, meeting of the Berlin Board of Health. As a preliminary matter, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. My name is Paul McKelk, Chair of the Board of Health. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to me calling the meeting to order. Board of Health meeting members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Sue Regera.
Here.
Bob Wheeler.
Here.
I'm going to include you, Leanne.
Here.
Okay. Actually, you fall under staff. Sorry, but you're here.
Okay.
We will have some anticipated speakers on the agenda. I'll call their name as they come up in the meeting.
Excuse me, Paul, for interrupting, but Donna Traylor is also just joining and
Oh, very good.
is taking
Okay.
notes.
Cool.
The open meeting of the Berlin Board of Health is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to this current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. Excuse me. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Berlin website at www.townofberlin.com. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, provided reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. While no in-person attendance of members of the public is permitted, every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. The standard public comment portion of this meeting will accommodate limited public comment. For this meeting, the Berlin Board of Health is convening using the Zoom platform as posted on the agenda and identifying how the public may join. Public is encouraged to follow along during this meeting using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Supporting materials that are available this evening to members of the board can be made available to the public by request. We are now, well, I'm gonna not turn to the first item on the agenda until Bill joins us. Good evening, Donna.
Hi.
Please say you're present. I want to acknowledge that you're here as an official act.
Donna Traylor, present.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Some ground rules. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will invite each member by name to provide any comment, question, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Board members and speakers on the agenda, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with each other, please do so through me taking care to identify yourself. To the extent that our technical capability allows, public comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of this meeting as follows. Attendees' phones and other devices will be muted unless and until they raise their hands and are recognized by me to speak. I ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify their name, and I will afford each speaker time to ask a question or make a brief comment. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Let me see. Bill is not with us yet, but
And he just joined.
he did. Oh, there he is. Yes, he is.
Hello.
Hi, Bill. You just missed the best boring part. If you're ready, Bill, let's start with what you have. And just so you're aware that Donna Trailer, who you know, is
Hi,
joining
Donna.
tonight.
Hi.
Keep minutes and keep track of things for us.
Sounds good. Are the Davises here?
They are.
Yeah, we might as well. Pollard Road 730. So why don't we take care of 104 Crosby Road temporary occupancy extension request?
Okay, I'll promote them now.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Chris.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Nice to see everybody again.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still smiling.
I know. Well, they are in their house, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
Okay, so you folks are here to take it away.
We just wanted to come in front of the board prior to our temporary occupancy expiring on October 5th, I believe, and request another 6-month extension while the litigation case works itself out. Or tries to, yeah.
This is certainly not our first time around the block with this. Do I hear a motion?
I'd make a motion to extend or grant another 6-month extension.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, and we'll do roll call. Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Paul, aye. So moved, so granted. And if everything goes well, maybe this will be the last temporary extension.
Aye.
Well, thank you.
Chris and Heather, what was the date of expiration on that? I don't have that document in front of me.
Let me open it real quick. I believe it was October 5th.
The first week of October, yeah.
Okay.
So does that go from now or to October, from October 5th forward, Billy?
Well, we'd respect the October 5th and we'd go
Right.
180 days beyond that.
Certainly. Okay.
October.
It's October 8th, actually. I was.
October 8th, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will, I'll email Richard and copy you on that.
That would be great. And do you want me to forward you the last one just so it's at the top of your inbox in the morning?
Absolutely.
I will do that.
Excellent.
Anything we can do to make it a little easier.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, we
Perfect.
appreciate it.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you
I'll
very
enjoy
much.
the rest of the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we have the Oriental City Tobacco Permit. That's a renewal. The tobacco licenses expire October 31st, so we should begin to see those come in, but this is the first. So Paul, what I'll do is draft that and get it to the office for your signature.
Okay. Have they been in contact, or are we just going through pro forma or getting in touch with them?
Well, they submit, the owner did call me a couple weeks ago, and one of the few owners that's kind of aware of that expiration date, so she's doing what she needs to do without us sending them a reminder letter. So she
Okay.
sent in her application and the fee, and I'll get the fee to the office along with the permit, so that can be processed.
All right, very good.
And then I have two items that were not on the agenda, but that came up today. One is the Highland Ridge project. You know, that septic system, the leach area has been installed and signed off. And I would say the person that sold the project had plans and permits approved for septic tank and pump chamber to tie the units to that leach area. Now the new owner, the builder, is exploring some different options as far as location of tanks and pump chambers and units. So I have not signed off. They've applied for probably 3 or 4 building permits, but I've rejected them because we don't have their new plans yet. So they requested today, would the board consider approving foundation only permits at their own risk? So that would just warrant some discussion tonight.
Okay, let me speak. I'll start by speaking to that. Considering the size of the project, yes, we've granted that okay for foundation permits in the past for probably single-family homes. This is a rather large project. I personally am not comfortable giving them a go-ahead on this, whereas Bill is waiting for engineered plans. If they're changing things, I think that's significant enough that we should withhold granting an okay, even just for foundation permits. And on top of that, I've heard rumblings that which I will work to confirm, that they have violated some initial conditions that were put on the Slade project relative to maintaining mature trees and so forth, and they have gone in and clear cut. So I would like Concom to weigh in before we move forward on this. I mean, we need to work in consort with the other boards, particularly on a project of this size.
Yeah, I drove up there. It's just one big massive area that's been cleared out.
Bobby?
I just was wondering, Billy, has anybody given you an idea of what the changes would be?
Yeah.
Why and where? Have you got any concrete or what their idea is of changes? Or-
Sounds like economics. Right now, there's one, you know, basically the project's almost split in two, if you will, by elevation. So there's an enormous septic tank and pump chamber handling a portion of the project. And then there's 2 enormous septic tanks in series with a large pump chamber handling the other portion. They're looking at possibly using a greater number of smaller tanks and pump chambers. Even though they'll be greater in number, I guess the cost of the units, the components are less expensive. So again, I spoke to the engineer. It was probably 3 weeks ago, and they're just exploring options. So, you know, I told them until we had plans, I couldn't do anything.
Sure. Do you have any idea? Do you have any opinion on the issue? Or
Not really. I mean, you know, the code allows that type of, you know, design. So it's really making sure that the volumes meet, you know, the flow requirements. Simple math on tank size and pump chamber size.
Okay, I agree. Maybe we hold up till we get a better idea of, you know, whatever you you know, whatever
Well,
we,
I just think that Bill should have clear information before we move forward with this.
I totally agree.
It's a major project and too many things can happen that may not be appropriate. Not saying they will, but I would rather err on the side of caution here. Any disagreement with board members?
Nope, not for me.
Bobby?
no, I have no disagreement. My only thing is it looks like it's going smoothly so far, if, as long as they hold up to their agreement and like you say, follow with the best intentions for the town.
I don't know if we have to take an official vote on that, Bill, for you.
Not really. It was a simple question raised on the viewpoint, and I can answer them the same way.
Okay, the board's opinion right now is no.
Yep. And then lastly, the house next to the municipal building, it's 29 Linden Street. I met with Mike Sawyer today. They have no water and they'd like to drill a new well. Again, this just happened today, so I do not have a plan and I do not have offsets. Mike is, the existing well is less than 50 feet to the septic system right now and less than 50 feet to the property line in the Linden Street and the sideline between the municipal building and this structure. So because it's no water, we usually treat this as an emergency. You know, once I get a plan with some offsets shown, I can alert the board, but it looks like they'll need a variance. He's hoping he can get at least, this will actually improve. It'll be at least 50 feet from the septic system, but it's going to be really tight on the side property line to the municipal building. Could be like 3 to 5 feet. So I thought we'd talk about, you know, if the board, you know, respects this as an emergency, we can move forward and get a more formal request probably by next meeting.
Well, the property is occupied as I understand it, so
Yes.
it would qualify as an emergency.
Yep.
And I would ask you, Bill, to move forward with your discussions with the property owners to rectify the situation.
All right. Yeah, I can certainly let the board know once I get some more solid information on offsets, but it sounds like it'll be a better situation than what's there now.
Okay.
And that's all I have. If I don't know if the board has any other business to get us to 7:30.
I'd like to provide an update relative to the library septic situation. 2 bids were ultimately received. Neither one qualified because the bidders failed to submit the 5% bid deposit check, and they did not address some specific items on the request that was put out by our town administrator. I've spoken with Bill and I've spoken with our town administrator. I know there's a quote unquote October deadline to have this situation squared away. Combination of factors with the library not really being used because of COVID. And the fact that the 2 bids we did receive had to be rejected. And considering the time of year, it is my belief that the town is best served that this go out to rebid with a spring install date. The existing tank has been pumped. There was a problem with the sewer line that has been cleared and taken care of. The town has engineered plans for a new system, so the town is taking appropriate actions. And one of the bids came in at $98,000. And I think somebody did their homework because the town had approved $100,000 for septic improvements. And I just find that rather coincidental. And given the circumstances that I've just stated, I don't really see any problem with pushing an install date off until the spring. Actually, after whatever this winter is, mild, whatever, winters are long here, there will probably be more bidders interested at that point in time. And I would think financially, the town would benefit by this delay. Open comments and suggestions from the other board members, please, and Bill as well. Bobby?
I have no problem with that, Paul. And if we do a pump on it to make sure that it, I think it's been pumped. It hasn't been an issue, actually. I
No,
don't
it
think
hasn't.
because, no. So I think that it can be moved out as long as it's all right with Billy, if you think it's all right to move it out. Sue, I have no issue with moving it out. In the bid, whatever it has to be, we just got to make sure we cover everything. And they have an installer's license, or they will have one when they install it. I think we are good with that.
That all goes without saying. I mean, they have to have a license in order to operate, so.
Would that put us in any jeopardy with the state, Bill?
It's not really on the state's radar. They're focused on the well. As we would treat any resident in town, if they're making a good faith effort, the board can certainly be flexible with that time frame. There's no reason to think the system isn't going to be corrected. It's just that a lot of time went by before we actually did soil testing, got the plan approved. Now
Sure.
this bid process is obviously not going as smoothly as we had hoped. So, there's really no reason to have a problem with a spring target date. That might open up the bidding to other places. I know a couple companies didn't bid because they couldn't meet the deadline. So now that if we open that deadline up, hopefully we'll see maybe more bids from local guys.
Yes,
Good.
Bobby?
Did we find out what the intrusion was in the system that was holding it up, Billy?
The pipe was blocked. I mean, they snaked it, one snake.
Yeah, I
was
know.
blocked, But
Yeah.
I mean, no, they didn't send a camera down and nobody climbed down that deep, so.
I thought they sent the camera, but I didn't know if we found a blockage there or something that
Well, there
was
was
odd.
there was a blockage. They had to
Yeah.
clear it.
Yeah,
What the blockage was, I don't know, and I'm not
yeah, yeah.
really
right.
material.
Unfortunately, it sounds like it might have been blocked for a while before it was actually tried to be addressed, so it might have got worse over time.
Oh, yeah. Roots are terrible, roots, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, sounds good to me. Do we have to vote on that, Paul, or?
No. We have personal reviews coming up. That's correct, Sue?
Oh, boy.
Correct, they're due before the end of this month.
Okay.
So
Before
Donna
the
and
end of
I will have to start talking about this on Friday for hers. And then
Due
you
before
have,
the end of September?
I believe so, or shoot for October 1st. I mean,
Okay.
it's coming up quick.
I'm missing that by a month. I thought they would do
Yeah.
the end of October, but,
I don't think so.
okay. I
Yeah.
know there's conversation in town offices about reopening, but I haven't gotten any specific information in terms of what that plan is.
Right.
I spoke to Margaret briefly about that. It sounds like, they're following the protocol. And I mentioned to Margaret that in the town buildings I've been in, Berlin's got the best signage. It's really easy to read. It's right there in bright paper, bold print. So, I think we're in good shape there.
Yeah, and they've got all the, the doors installed with the windows and all the plexiglass screens, and they've got the sign-in logs on each counter already. They're
Yep.
ready to roll.
Good, very good.
Are any other buildings up and running, Billy, that we know of?
Stowe is still closed to the public. Lancaster is closed to the public. Bolton's been open to the public for probably a month.
Oh, yeah.
But I have not been doing hours there because there hasn't been a demand. So people kind of
Right.
used to reaching me by other means. So we've kind of decided until there's a need, just kind of keep doing what I'm doing now.
Sure.
The Rockwell, the apartment development keeps filing their daily reports as requested. There've been no real anomalies showing up on that. It's nice to see that they're on board with what they're supposed to be doing. I will check in with them, management again, relative to what their recycling plans are. We haven't gotten any new calls, but as that property gets more occupied, I'm sure we will be hearing more about it. More requests about recycling and about using the transfer station. So we all need to be thinking about that. Bobby?
Are there occupancy permits already for that, Paul? Building, 1 or 2 buildings or?
Oh, there are people living there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
One
they're,
building,
Have been for a while.
I think a lot of the buildings are coming close to completion. So the
Yeah, I didn't
workforce,
know.
Paul, I don't know if you think, but the workforce is probably somewhat diminished. You know,
Considerably.
Yeah.
Because I believe they were trying to get out of that project by mid to late fall. So
Yep.
I'm sure they're closing in on the end of it.
Yep.
And capital requests. Nobody has any capital requests for the transfer station, is that correct?
I
Only-
don't know if the,
Go ahead, Bobby.
I'm not sure if anybody down there has any capital requests. Paul, I don't know if you've heard anything from anybody or what we need, or I'm not sure.
Well, nobody's made any requests. The only capital request that I would have is that the operators building could use some fresh paint inside, a little drywall compound, but that's not really,
That's not capital.
that's not capital. That's something we're gonna have to see if we can pull out of our operating budget.
We tried it
I
once.
thought I thought we had set that up a couple of years ago, but it.
I agree.
And speaking of that, Bobby, just go ask Pete.
Yeah.
He may say no, but we won't know unless we ask him if we can store. I mean, those composting units stack, so they don't take up a lot of square footage, 4x4, and you just stack
Okay.
them. It's not like they have to get spread out. And
Okay.
If he says no, then we'll talk to Dave Smith, but I think it's
Yep.
best suited if we keep them all down there.
And on that topic, Paul, I was debating whether to maybe advertise them at the on the town website and any website we have on the town, like Facebook, any of that. I noticed there is a state website for all the towns that have them. Our name isn't on it. Some don't sell to other people, but we would, I think. The other thing was maybe at some of the farms in town, we could put up a flyer for those to be sold, those compost bins, and a flyer at the transfer station. And maybe, like I said, put it on the town websites that they're available. And the only thing is who do we have them call? Donna, or leave a message for Donna, and we can set up supply and delivery. I'm not sure. From there, we could,
Purchased at the transfer station.
meaning just one flyer or at different places.
No, you
With
can
the
put
same-
up flyers everywhere, but The
Yeah.
idea is that if you want a
Oh,
composter,
yes.
you
Point
buy
of,
it at the
point of
transfer
purchase would
station.
be the transfer station.
Don't call Donna.
No, I agree. So we could have them just go and give, Pete could take a check and deliver one if it was there and put it towards the Board of Health, correct, for that?
That's why Pete needs to have some at the transfer station. If
Right.
people give Pete a check, he goes and opens up a trailer and gives them a composter.
Gives them the whole package. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I wanted to know. That was my first thing, was to let, I didn't want to give Donna, I just wanted to give some place for them to call. If they are at the transfer station, they could tell Pete. But if they did call and leave a message, I don't know who would take it, but they could relay it to, that when to pick up at the transfer station and give it to, we just do delivery with a check to Pete with a receipt.
No,
And
we
it would
don't
be,
deliver. We do
no,
not deliver.
no, they could pick it up at the transfer station with a receipt that we could, which would all be good with everybody, right?
Correct. It should be simple. Go ahead with the flyers and the advertising.
Okay,
Composters are available at the transfer station for purchase at the transfer station through the
Yep.
transfer station attendees, the manager, and the receipt should be duly noted that it's for a composter. Yes, Donna?
I did make a flyer a little while ago,
No,
and I
great.
gave it to him to post down at the transfer station, but I don't know what happened to it.
okay, maybe it's posted. I haven't looked myself, but that's something when you go down there, Bobby, you can check.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, the
Donna,
other thing is, go ahead.
no, you go.
Maybe we could make another one,
Yeah.
print another one out and laminate it.
Okay. Yeah, and if you want, they could email us and then I could always call Pete and say, this person's gonna come down. So I don't mind doing that.
Okay,
Because it may be just, if he doesn't want to do it all the time, if they have to just do it when they're there, they can call and I can say, okay, this lady's coming down on Saturday. This is her name.
Right.
I'm ready. I mean, it's a thought. Get on.
I don't think.
No, it's great.
I don't think we have that many. I would just like to get them all out of our possession and into
Exactly.
residents' hands, so.
Yeah, and putting it on our website's a good idea too.
Yes,
I don't know if that was done.
Yeah. And
So-
any other website that we have, Donna, that would be like, I don't know, Neighbors to Neighbors, or, I don't know, you may know some of the other ones that, for Berlin that we
Well,
could get
enough of
them
that.
on.
You're gonna take care of that part, Bobby, because you
All right.
brought it up. And Donna, if people email the Board of Health office, Donna will then correspond with Pete to give him a heads up.
Yep, and I'll do a flyer and I'll have it laminated too,
Okay,
because whatever I had, maybe if it's not there, it's gone.
Yep.
So-
And I could get a couple of those flyers to put at different farms, and, maybe at Golden Skep or Indian Head, and those with
Sure.
people.
Yeah,
Terrific,
I can
Donna.
make a few. So,
Thank you. They don't have to
Yep.
be laminated at all of them, Donna. They just can be a copy. They don't
Okay.
have to be laminated. Just,
okay, that's probably
Okay,
enough
we
on
have to-
that's enough on composters, we
okay, just
Yep.
the price.
A lot of this.
42.
think it's-
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we gotta make sure we get the price right, because I think Sue and I were off $1 each. So I just need to know the exact price. And that's it.
Okay, we can research that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
we're at 7:30. I believe this would be a continuation on Pollard Road.
Would you like me to promote Liz and Neil?
Please.
Okay.
There's Liz. Hi, Liz. Hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hello.
So where are we?
So we left off with looking at some revisions for lot 1. And lot 2, we were pretty much satisfied with what we had there, except just didn't want to make any moves until we knew what was going to happen on lot 1.
Correct, right.
Okay, and then I did just correct some typos on that lot 2 cover letter. On lot 1, the major things that I did that are going to make a difference were moving both the primary and secondary areas away from the well. We moved it closer to the road easement and added barriers, polyvinyl barriers on the well side of the systems for added protection.
I'm sorry, what kind of barriers?
Polyvinyl, 40 mil
Poly,
polyvinyl
okay.
barriers.
All right,
So I was able to achieve 120 feet to the excavation area on the primary from the well, 125 to the actual system itself. And then on the reserve, I was able to achieve 123 foot setback from the existing well, 128 to the actual system. We have a 10-foot request for a 10-foot setback on property line on both. And then on the primary, there's 67 feet to the catch basin, and on the reserve, it's 30 feet to the catch basin, both from the excavation area. So that's where I juggled them back toward the roadway.
That's lot 1.
Lot 1, yeah.
Liz, I didn't see the well variance carried over on the lot 1 letter. That was the property line offset.
While she's looking at, this is for Bill and Liz, and I think just in general, I get your recent submissions, and I know with computers, the red ink shows the changes and all that, but I still look at like an August 18th date, and maybe I'm just a little slow, but I would like to see these kind of documents come through with a new date in terms of when the revisions were made. And that can be anywhere in the body, just to help clarify, because I'm looking at multiple pages and it basically says the same thing. And it's like, I find it a little confusing. Not bad, I'm just hoping to improve how all this works for this situation, and more importantly, moving forward in other situations that you guys probably aren't going to be involved in.
I did include the revision 91420 on sheet 1,
And
the revision box.
Yeah, lower right title block.
I did not get any revisions. When did they come in, Billy?
Sue sent them to me yesterday.
Oh, okay. On the diagram page, I'm also talking about the text page,
Yeah,
just to coordinate the two to make sure it's
yeah.
apples and apples. That's all.
And
Yep.
then the revisions themselves have been specified also on sheet 2.
Okay.
They're written out. So it references a note, and then when you go to the note, it tells you exactly what was done.
All right.
But I follow you, Paul. And I definitely did miss.
It's just a bit of housekeeping to make our life a little easier, because we don't live in this world that you do and that Bill does. And it's just to help the local boards be a little more accurate in what we deal with. That's all.
Sure.
All right, sorry. I
Yeah,
interrupted.
Bill, I see I did forget to put that in the letter. 20 feet to the to lot 2 on
This
that
is-
as well.
You're referring to the lot 1 letter?
The lot 1 letter, the well is 20 feet, has a 20-foot setback from lot 2. It maintains the 50-foot offset from the heirs property.
Yeah, that can be revised. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think the most important question, at least in my mind, is where are we relative to the Crackart property and its well?
So the system, the primary system is 120 feet, 125 feet from the septic, from the leach trench, 120 feet from the excavation to that well. And the reserve area is 128 feet from the actual trench and 123 feet from the excavation area to that well. Then also, in addition to those, I have added the polyvinyl barrier on that side.
And these updated plans have been sent to Bill at his air office?
So it was short notice and I had vacation last week.
Yeah.
Emailed everything. I emailed everything this week and, you know, post this hearing. If everything goes well, I'll print and send whatever copies are needed. Does anyone have any questions?
Paul, I think Bob has a question.
Oh, Bobby, did you have your hand up? Sorry, I was looking at something.
Yeah, no, my issue is like basically science. I mean, polyvinyl barrier by science works, by rules it does not. That's the problem. So we're still stuck a little here.
Can you amplify that a little bit, Bobby, to help us all understand?
Well, we've used polyvinyl, barriers before on upgrades, but we have yet to use any precedented on new construction. So it basically comes down to, the rules and that. So that's about it. Billy might be able to bring us up a little on it, but
May I add to that? The
what's
barrier,
that?
may I add to that?
Yes.
Okay, so the barrier itself isn't being used for any other reason than to give us another layer of protection. So I'm not
Correct.
using it to lessen my breakout or anything like that. It's just another layer of protection.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Bill, any thoughts off the top of your head relative to this? I know you haven't seen hard plans yet, and you usually prefer to, but.
I think last meeting, I stated that the state code really looks at vertical offset when it comes to treatment. So in the 2-minute soils, the state requires a 5-foot offset above groundwater versus a 4. The town requires 5, no matter what the perk rate is. So we're already there. And again, the view is that really the majority of the treatment's taking place in that vertical migration, versus the horizontal. So, I think that groundwater offset is critical to keep in mind. And again, the horizontal offset does meet Title V, but not the town's increased offset in 2-minute soils.
Liz, do you think there's anything that you can do on your end to improve that situation?
I certainly cannot get 150 feet away.
150 from Crackhart?
Right. So, if that is, I mean, I could get at least 125 on each from the excavation area to the Crackhart well. I'm almost there on the reserve. And I would have to work on a 5 foot, squeezing 5 feet out of that, which if I used a barrier on the roadside, I might be able to do that. So I could definitely, bring them both up to 125. But there's no promise of 150.
It's a tough one.
Very difficult. New construction, very difficult.
Right.
Well, at this moment, I'm not in a position to say yay or nay one way or another. I'm not, my initial reaction is 125 is better, but it really doesn't meet regs. I'm willing to, well, I would like Bill to see the full drawn plans, for accuracy's sake. I'm willing to continue this and allow you additional time to, I don't know, work magic. To ask for a variance from an existing well on new construction is not something we've ever done here in this community. And I'm not anxious to do that at this point. Not without further review and introspection on this. And that's where I am right at this moment.
Mhm.
Any comments from anyone, please?
Yeah, Paul, I'd like to talk. It's Neil
Sure,
Basile.
please.
Yeah, Paul, see, if it wasn't for the railroad crossing, we could go up further up the street. I'd make it easily,
Okay,
but can't do that. And I can't go down the street because I'd be outside in the road. So that won't work either.
the railroad, is it an ownership issue with the railroad crossing now?
Well, there's a 20-foot easement there that has to be given, that has to be there recorded. So I got to keep that according to the railroad company.
Just curious, which railroad company is that, You must.
Is it Providence? Providence, Worcester, I believe. I don't have the plan in front of me, but I think that's what it is.
You think it's Providence? Okay.
I think so. I'd have
You
to go
can-
out in my truck to get
You
the
can go
plan.
under that, Neil, You're allowed to go under that easement?
I'm allowed to go under it, over it, you know, and all that, but I mean, to have a septic system on, underneath, I don't
No.
know. I don't know about
Right.
that,
Right.
Bob, to be honest with you.
I hear you. Like you say, if you could put it under it without harming it, I can't see any damage, but like you say, you're not sure of that issue yet, huh? Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I
darn.
mean, we got plenty of land. It's just that if it wasn't for the easement, Liz could have just pushed it up.
Right.
Is
You
there
know what I
room,
mean?
excuse me, is there room on the other side of the easement? Do you own
On the
land
other side of
over
the
there?
easement? On the other side of the easement? That would be on the other side of the street, you mean?
No,
Oh.
lot 2, actually, I think he's speaking.
No, not the other side of West Street, pushing, I'm gonna say north on the other side of the railroad bed.
That's in
own
front
land
of,
there.
that's in front of the house. That's right in front of the house, Liz. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that. Well,
Um,
there would potentially be room for one system, you know, primary or reserve. So, but the other thing that happens when we move up that far up slope, you know, we're gonna change all the elevations for the entire site plan. So everything is gonna, you know, I can't possibly see the ramifications of that without laying that out.
Right. Would that be lot 2, Liz, actually? I mean, that's more, getting hammered with that?
The, in lot one, I don't understand your question, Bob. What is it again?
Well, what I'm saying is, if we were able to move that lot 1 system above the easement, would that affect lot 2?
Okay, so how far do we have to be between septic systems?
Local reg is 100.
100?
Yeah.
No. We'll be right there. I think that's the only thing that it would affect there. And then I need to be 25 feet off the property, but, you know, then we can go less on that, I think. You know, of course, it's gonna come with similar, it's gonna come with other, maybe a property line setback reduction, or even still to get the 150 feet from that well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the circle hasn't changed. If everyone's looking at the plan, you know, there's a 150-foot wellhead offset. You can see that circle.
Of your own well, Liz? Or
Of the
somebody
crack
else?
heart, of the crack heart well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we can't be anywhere in there is what you're, you know, was what you're enforcing.
Okay. I've got the original plan. I don't have the upgraded one, I guess. But I mean, I know exactly kind of what you're talking about here.
Right, that wellhead doesn't change on any of the plans.
Yeah. Okay. Just trying to bring out some positive
I definitely
information.
wouldn't have, what's the setback from the house on the system?
Foundation is 25 currently.
25. Unless it's below grade, Liz.
It would be a very tight squeeze there. And then the driveway would, you know, I don't know, the driveway, I mean, everything would change. Everything would have to change.
Well, the driveway can encompass the system.
It can't be.
What's that?
Well, the state
can't be over
code
the
says
system.
that unless it's unavoidable, so the board would have discretion on that. A driveway can cross a system, it's just whether or not it's avoidable.
Okay.
So, and that whole system would have to come up 10 feet, you know, if the soil results were the same as what we have been finding there,
Mhm.
then everything comes up 10 feet. You know, I can't, you raise the system 10 feet, then, you know, that everything comes up 10 feet. You have to still get up to the septic tank and back up to the house, and so your top of concrete would be 314 if we were able to even fit it in that location still.
Is that to get over water, Liz, or why?
Yeah, so basically when we're running these site plans, everything starts with the groundwater. And then
Okay,
we take our offset to the bottom of the system, and then everything goes uphill from there.
yeah,
Through the system, up through the D-box, up through the septic tank, into the house. And that sets our foundation.
mhm. So you would have to raise the system 10 feet to get up further?
Yeah, like that's just the system. If I moved it up into that space that you're talking about, I'd need, you know, I'm at an elevation where I'm 10 feet higher than where I am now.
That's crazy, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Just trying to work with you, kiddo.
Yeah. It's not easy. And you can see the building envelope.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
that's
even like I can move it's not like I can move that building down to where the leach field is and switch.
right. Well, we didn't make the plan, you know? It's a tough
I mean,
situation.
we're going back and forth, and
Yeah, exactly.
we're trying hard to not say no, okay? And we have to respect what's gone on in this community for many years. And, you know, push may come to shove, and this board may have to make a hard decision. I don't think it's going to be tonight. I wouldn't recommend it tonight, one way or another. All I can suggest is that, and I'm no engineer, but trying to think outside the box to make this work for you guys is somewhere that's where the solution may be, if there is a solution. And I'm not sure there is. I'm not qualified one way or another to say. But I would like Bill to get the full drawn hard plans to look at. I'd like to think about this some more myself. And I'm inviting the other board members to weigh in on this. If either of you thinks that we should move forward with a decision tonight, please speak up. Otherwise, I would move that this just gets continued again, in hopes that there is a resolution that works for everybody. The silence is deafening.
Hey, Sue, you're muted.
Sue,
Billy, do you
I
have
can't
any,
read your lips.
do you have any opinion on anything, Billy, that could be straightened out at all? That you think, science-wise, or?
Well, I guess Liz would have to investigate, is there room to place a system outside of that 150-foot well radius? Doesn't look like there's a lot of room up there, but again, until it's actually scaled out, it's tough to say.
Yeah, I think we need to continue. It's very hard to grant a variance for a new build when we might be impinging upon an existing home. And that's kind of where I'm at, and setting the precedent for the town of Berlin to boot. So I am all for continuing it again. I'm sorry, Liz and Neil, but you know, if there's possibly a way that we can make this better, I think we should look at it.
Can I just say one thing too?
Please.
Okay, so just to quickly ran some numbers. If I move the system up to around where the driveway is, the bottom of the basement floor elevation would be right about 307. And the highest contour that's right behind the house is 304. So at that high point, I'd be 3 feet out of the ground with the basement floor. At the low point, I'm gonna be about 14 feet out of the ground with my basement floor. So
What if you use the
it'd be
pump?
absolutely impossible to,
About a pump system.
well, then I'd have to, take another look at the final grading on that.
Mm-hmm.
That would certainly bring it down.
I mean, if that hasn't been explored, I would recommend exploring it. I mean, you're trying to make it work. I know Neil wants to put in X number of units. I understand that. I hope you guys can appreciate where we're at. As soon as we set a precedent, we open up a door that
Correct.
bite us in the backside really bad. And right now, I don't want that on my watch.
Let me ask you something, Paul.
Yes.
From the back property line of the house, how far does the system have to be? To the property?
25 feet, Billy?
Yeah,
Property line to leaching areas is 25, yep.
25, right.
If I put the septic system in the back,
I think we lost you, Neil.
Yeah, I think he's, yeah. We lost you, Neil.
No, he's back.
Can you hear us, Neil?
internet here. Yeah. I'm having trouble with my computer here with the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Do you hear me, Bob? Bob,
Yeah.
I was saying Liz, I was saying that if I put the septic system in the back of the house and move my house forward, then I don't have no walkout basement, but, oh, well.
It's a pump system then, right, Neil?
Well, what's ever gonna work, I'd rather see the system in the back than than in the front. I can move the house towards the front of the road, closer.
If
Well-
it can make things work,
Yep.
I would give that serious consideration if I were you.
And then
And
I'm
we-
gonna be away from that 150 feet of the well from the Crackhead house, and I think I'm gonna make it.
There you go.
Even if we put it in the front, Neil, we'd need the reserve in the back. Even
Get the reserve in the back.
if we put one of the systems out front.
Even if I gotta move my well up, I don't care.
Yeah, we
There you go.
already did that.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If I gotta dig another 50 or 60 more feet for the well, oh, well.
It's a one-time thing.
Right. Move the house towards the front, I'll move the house towards the front and move the well up, and I'll move the septic systems in the back.
You may be onto something here, and rather than all of us be part of that discussion, you and Liz can work that out. Liz can talk with Bill as
Right.
she proceeds. I will make a motion that we continue this hearing.
Second the motion?
I'll third it.
And let's pick a date. Liz, our next meeting, actually, it would give you, well, I won't say it'll give you plenty of time, but our next meeting would be Tuesday, October 6th.
Well, we don't have soil results up there either. I don't know if, Neil, you would want to speculate and draft, or if you want to test and then design.
Well, we could do some testing if we have to, as soon as possible.
Okay, I heard a motion to continue. I second it. I'm gonna do a roll call. Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
All right,
Paul, I will continue this hearing till Tuesday, October 6th, excuse me. And hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel for you, Neil.
Thanks.
Paul, do you want to put a time on that, 7:30?
Oh, 7:30, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
thanks you guys for working with us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Liz, give me a call. See what the next step is.
Okay. Good job, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, we've covered all the agenda items. Anything else?
I don't have anything else. Bobby?
Not offhand. I'm gonna work on the composting deal there for you, Paul. Try to sell Sue's composters and see what we can do, Sue, to put it out there.
Come
Oh,
on.
yeah, there's Sue's composters, right? Yeah.
No, they're all of ours. I don't get me putting. We got them, but still, we'll try to get rid of them. I got on. There's actually a list. There's actually a list on town of every town that got them. There was a grant thing, but there's a list of every town in Mass that has them. And Bolton, Boylston, they did. Ours are the Earth Machine, right, Sue?
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay, because I have to get a diagram of the system. I want to get a picture of them and how they kind of work to put up in like the poster to push them. And if I can get like maybe you and Donna will put them on the websites and get them out and see if we can't get rid of some.
Well, I have access to the Board of Health webpage. That's all I have access to.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who, we talked to, I guess, Mary Arad or somebody to put them on Berlin Webs, and then we got Neighbor to Neighbor and that, and if we,
They don't have access to that. It's
Oh.
you have to send a request into whoever's running those pages.
okay. Well, we'll do what we can to push them. We got to get rid of them, and like Paul said, we got to make some room, so we'll do what we can.
Okay.
Billy?
All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I make a motion.
Bill, wait a minute, hold on. Bill,
Well,
any last comments or anything, Bill?
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but we haven't had any mass complaints since last week.
Wow, that's true.
hey,
Hopefully that's a good trend.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And
Do I
get
hear
your
a
flu
motion to
shots.
adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting
Do I
tonight.
hear a second?
second.
All in favor? Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
All right.
Paul, aye.